Hi, I'm Caroline Crochet and welcome to my Crafty Crochet channel. I'm just sitting here having a wee cup of tea thinking I would share with you what I've been making recently. A friend of mine asked me to make blankets for a gift for newborn babies, one boy and one girl, and this is what I came up with. So I've got a lovely boy's blanket and we've got some nice blues and greens there, and a matching girl's blanket with some lovely pinks and purples, and I've even got a bit of glitter in the silver grey there. What girl doesn't like a little bit of glitter? Okay, so these newborn babies are going to love these. Okay, so these blankets were made using granny square. Granny squares are used all over the world, and you make lots of them and you join them all together and you make lovely things with them. Now I'm also going to show you how to join them together using this lovely chain stitch, and then at the end I'm going to show you how to make this nice border that just finishes it off beautifully around the edge. Okay, now I had a nice surprise earlier this week. A friend gave me a crochet project planner, which I'm lovely to have, love it, and so I've made some notes about my blankets, but the main things that you need to know to get started are that you're going to make 21 white squares with white double knit yarn, and you need about 180 grams of the double knit yarn. You're also going to make another 21 coloured squares, and the colours are whatever you choose, and in total you'll need about 160 grams of coloured yarn for those. Lastly, you're going to need a crochet hook, and I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm also using a yarn needle and scissors. So that's everything you need. So I'm going to finish my cup of tea while you get everything together, and I'll look forward to seeing you for the tutorial. Have a good one. The granny square. I'm going to show you how to make the wonderful granny square. Granny squares are amazing because they're so useful. You can make them in any colour, in any size, in any kind of yarn, and with any size of hook. And then you make a few and you join them together, and before you know it you've got a lovely blanket or a jumper or a bag. Many things you can do. So I'm going to tuck my blanket to one side and I'll show you how to make a granny square. So for this blanket I'm using double knit wool, if I can find the end, there we go, and a 4mm hook. But you can use any size of yarn and any size of hook. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. So take your yarn, put it diagonally over your fingers, straight down, diagonally over, and then squeeze it tight with this finger. Then you go underneath the first yarn, catch the second yarn and turn everything upside down, and that makes your slip knot. Just pull it a little bit tighter. Okay, and this side's your working yarn and this side's your tail. Just keep that out of the way for a minute. So using your working yarn, you're going to make 4 chains. So yarn over and pull it through your loop. That's 1 chain. Yarn over, pull it through your loops, 2 chains, 3 chains, and 4. Then you're going to take your hook and put it back through the first chain that you made. Catch your yarn and pull it through, and pull it through that one as well. Next you're going to work into this hole here, not this first one but this second one. You make 2 chains. This counts as your first double crochet, and then you're going to do 2 more double crochets. So you can put yarn over your hook in the hole there, catch your yarn, pull it through, and then you'll have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that's made your second double crochet. I'm going to do another one. So it's yarn over, through the gap, catch your yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's your first cluster of 3 double crochets, and then you're going to do 2 chains, so 1, 2, and you're going to make another cluster of 3, and you're winding this tail round as you go. So it's yarn over, through the gap, catch your yarn, pull it through, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Second double crochet, so yarn over, pull through, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 more, so it's yarn over, through the gap, catch your yarn, pull through, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, so that's your second cluster of 3. So you're going to chain 2, and it's the 2 chains that actually create your corner of your square. I'm going to turn around a little bit there, and you're going to do another group of 3 double crochets. So yarn over, through the gap, catch yarn, pull through, 1, 2, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's number 1. Yarn over, that's number 2. Okay, so that's a group of 3. You're going to make another corner by making 2 chains, 1, 2. So you've got 1, 2, 3 groups of 3. You need a 4th one. One double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. You need to make the last corner, 1, 2 chains, and then you're going to just pop your hook through the top of the chain from your first stitch, yarn over and pull it through, and then pull through the other loop as well. That's called a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 2. This is the start of your next row, and I'll just show you what you've made. So that is your first square. It's right in the middle of your granny square. Okay, so we're going to start row 2. All right, and you're going to go back into this space. You've got 1 double crochet, you need to make 2 more, and that's your first cluster of 3. So yarn over, and you're going to jump across to this corner in the chain space, and you're going to do 3 more double crochets. Now you're making another corner here, so it's 2 chains and then another group of 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you're jumping across to this corner, so it's 3 double crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3. You need to make another corner, so 1, 2 chains and 3 more double crochets. Okay, so we're jumping across to this corner, 3 double crochets. So we're making another corner, so it's 2 more chains and 3 more double crochets in the same corner. That's another corner made. So we're coming back almost to the beginning. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in this corner. So that's your 3 done there, and you have 3 there. Now you need to join them to make this corner, so it's 2 double crochets, sorry, I beg your pardon, it's 2 chains, and then you're going to slip stitch into this top chain. You've got 2 loops there, so put your yarn over and pull through, and then pull it straight through this next one, and then you're going to go 2 chains ready for your next row, and this is what you've got. Okay, so a slightly bigger square now, start to see it taking shape. So we're going to move on to the 3rd row. Okay, so that's your first double crochet of this cluster. I'm going to yarn over and you're going to do 2 more double crochets in this space. 1, 2. Okay, so now we've got a space in the middle of our row, so you're going to do 3 double crochets in that gap there. So yarn over, that's 1, 2, 3, yarn over into this corner space, 1, 2, 3. Now we're making another corner, so we need 2 chains and 3 more double crochets. I'm going to work into this chain space in the middle, 3 more double crochets. Okay, and then into this corner space, 3 double crochets. making another corner, so it's 2 chains and 3 more double crochets in the same space. In the middle chain space, 3 more double crochets. Into this corner, 3 double crochets. We're making another corner, so it's 2 chains and 3 more double crochets in the same space. Okay, so 3 double crochets into the middle space, and we're going to go do 3 into this corner space. Okay, so we're going to join to the beginning of the row with 2 chains and a slip stitch into this top chain at the start of the row. Pull the yarn through and then yarn straight through again, and 2 chains, and this is where we're up to now after row 3. It's really starting to look like a proper square. So we're going to move on to row 4. And it's 2 double crochets into the corner space, and this counts as the third one. Now I've got 2 gaps along this row, so we're going to do a cluster of 3 double crochets in each one. So that's 1, and then we're jumping over to this space and 3 more double crochets in there. And then across to the corner space, 3 double crochets, two chains to make the corner, 3 more double crochets in the same corner space, three double crochets in this space, and this one, and this one. Okay, into the corner, that's 1, 2, 3, 2 chains to make the corner, and 3 double crochets in the same corner space, So that's only 2, so I need 1 more. Three in here. Three more. Into the corner. Make another corner with 2 chains and 3 more double crochets in the same corner space. I'm going to work my way along here. Okay, and the last group in this corner space here. One more. And I'm going to join the corner with 2 chains and a slip knot into the top chain here. Sorry, a slip stitch. So pick up the 2 loops, yarn through and straight through that loop. And 2 chains. Okay. And that is a granny square. I'm going to add 1 more row because that's the size I want for my blanket that I'm making. You can add as many rows as you like. You can just keep going and getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the squares at the size that you like. You can make a whole blanket, just keep going like this with 1 big square. Or as I'm doing for this blanket, I'm going to make lots of squares and join them together. So that is a granny square. I'll rejoin you when I'm finished and I'll show you how I finish off the last row. Okay, see you in a wee while. Here I am coming up to the last stitch of the row. I need to join the corner just like I usually do with 2 chains. I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top chain there, pull it through, pull it through. Now I'm not going to make any more rows on this square, it's as big as I want it to be. So if you yarn over and pull it through and then cut your yarn and then just pull it right through that loop and out the other side, and then you're just going to gently tuck that there, and then you're going to take this middle tail, going to pull it a little bit tighter, and that's your square finished. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it. So I'll show you how to sew in the tails. So you just need an appropriate size needle, thread your needle. Got a little fly buzzing about. Okay, so we'll turn it over and we're going to just pick up little bits of yarn, try and go through the yarn itself, and we'll take it down, and don't pull it too tight here, you want a nice straight edge. I'm going to take it down a little bit more, and you're hiding it in this stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to go slightly this way, and then I'm going to go back on myself because that stops it pulling out, and I'm going to take it round here, and I'm going to go back myself one more time, hiding it in amongst the cluster of stitches. Okay, make sure it's not pulling tight anywhere, and then just cut that yarn off, and we're going to do the same thing with this tail here. Thread your needle, and you're going to hide it in here in a circle, and you pick up one side of these stitches, and then pick up some more and go further round. I'm going to go a little bit further. Thread my needle again. Then I'm going to take it down into there and along these two stitches here, hiding it inside the stitches, and then go back on myself again so that it doesn't unravel. Okay, and I am going to snip that yarn off there, and that's my tails sewn in, and that's a square all ready for my blanket. There you go. I hope yours looks like mine. Okay, now I need to make some more and then start sewing them together. Now it's time to start joining all our lovely squares together. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. You need to have your yarn ready that you're using. I'm going to use it white to join everything together, and have a slip knot ready. I have chosen the position I'm going to put my squares in. I'm going to take these two here and work across here. Now I intend to match up the first chain here with the first chain here, then this group of 3 double crochets will match this 3, this group will match this group, and so on, and then we'll finish at the first chain from your corner on either side. Now we just use a slip stitch to do this. It's a bit fiddly when you start at each corner, but you get used to it. So have a slip knot ready with your yarn, and you're going to take the first of your chain stitches and just pop your hook through the outside loop, and then the opposite chain stitch, take the outside loop. So you've got 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to add in your slip knot, and you pull it through the first one, and this is where it gets fiddly to start with, and you pull it through your second one. Then you need to get your tail out of the way underneath, if I can find it. Just, it helps to have it that side, and then this is your working yarn on this side. So we're then going to go into the chain at the top of your first double crochet and pair it up with your first double crochet here, and then you just take your working yarn and wind it round the hook and pull it through your first one. Then I find it easy if you turn your hook away from you for the second one and turn it back to you for the third one, and you've basically done a slip stitch through all 3 loops. So then you go to your next loop at the second double crochet, and the same on this side. Take your working yarn, wind it round, pull it through 1, 2, 3. We're going to do another one through the outside loops of both chains, or sorry, both chains at the top of your third double crochet, and do your slip stitch through them all, and you'll create this lovely chain effect all along the join. So we're just going to keep going. So I've now reached my next group of 3, and it's still matching up, which is what you want. And that's another one done. Top of the next one, outside loop, working yarn round your hook, and so on. Just checking that we're still matching. So we're at the first one of the next group of 3, outside loops of both, working yarn round the hook, and I'll keep doing this to the end of the row. Now you might want to just fast forward to the end of the row, or you might want to follow along. So we're almost at the end. Our group of 3 is matching our group of 3 here. So we're going to take the first chain from your corner and match it with the first chain, the opposite corner. And you're going to do a slip stitch just as normal through all 3. Okay. So we've got a lovely chain going right along there, and it's all matching up with your opposite groups of 3. Okay, so we're now going to get our next 2 squares that you've got all lined up and ready, and we're going to just do the same again. It's always fiddly around this corner, so bear with me while I get it going. So it's exactly the same. You're going to take the first chain outside loop, and then the first chain outside loop. Get your working yarn and wrap it round, pull it through, and pull it through your second one, turning your hook away from you, hook back towards you, and pull it through the third one. And then it's the same as this row. You're going to match up your 3 in your group, and you're just going to keep going. And just continue doing that until you've got all your squares joined together along one way. This could be as many squares as you like one way, and make this blanket as big as you like. It's your choice how big you want your blanket to be. So I'm going to rejoin at the end here, and I'll show you how we finish at the end. Okay, I'll see you in a little while. So we're coming up to the end here, and I'm going to show you what to do at the end of each section. So I'm just going to make sure I line up the last couple of slip stitches correctly. Got a thread pulled, there we go. So last one on the corner. Okay, and you simply wind your yarn round, pull it through, snip it, and then you're just going to pull it straight through, and then you take this thread and you just give it a little tug to pull it tight, and then you're going to take this tail and you're going to just sew it in like I showed you earlier with the granny squares. It's the same way, and you'll sew in this end as well. And at this stage, don't worry that there's little dents here, because later on when we add the border in, that'll straighten that all up nicely. Okay, so now just want you to go ahead and finish all the rows for as long as your blanket's going to be, and then when you've done that, come back and join me again, and I'll show you how to do the crossways. Okay, see you in a wee while. Hopefully you've reached this stage. We have all these rows here joined up. You can see the lovely chain stitches. So it's time to join in the opposite direction. And you can see I've done one row here where I've joined it already, so it's nice and neat. I'm going to show you a little thing we need to do when we cross the chain from the previous one. You join exactly the same way as you've been doing all along, and you're coming up here. Your working yarn gets a bit tricky. You've got your working yarn just in here, and I'll show you what happens when we cross over here. All we're going to do is actually put in an extra chain stitch, and that jumps it like a little bridge. So bear with me and I'll just show you. So we're still picking up the outside loops and matching your double crochet stitches, and then you've got your working yarn poking through, so you're just going to pull your yarn through and through, just as always. Do the next one. Okay, and then the next one, I just need to go underneath and find my working yarn. Gets really tricky when you get close to these crosses. Okay, so I've done all three of these. So now I'm going to do a chain stitch. I just need to find the yarn, wind it round your hook. You've got two on your hook, and then you're going to do a chain stitch, and this will take you across the bridge. And you've got your working yarns here, and you're going to take the first one from this side and join it with the first one from that side. And it's just as before. Wind it round, pull through. I hope you can see this. and through and through. And you can see a nice chain stitch which is crossed over this other one. If you keep your tension loose, it's easier and sits more naturally if you keep your tension nice and loose. So then I'm going to pull, that's my working yarn through there, and I'm going to carry on. Okay, I'm going to show you another one of these chains across here, so I'll rejoin you in a minute once I've reached it. So we're at the next crossover. Still got a bit of working yarn here because I've got one more stitch to join. Okay, so I need to take the working yarn underneath because I need it this side now. I'm going to make a nice loose chain stitch there and then start again on the other side. Wind the working yarn round, pull through once, pull through twice, keeping your tension nice and loose, and we're off again. And that is all there is to it. It does take quite a long time when there's so many squares, so don't be doing this job if you're in a rush. It's very relaxing. I find it really relaxing sitting doing this. Put something good on the telly and it's a nice way to spend an evening. Okay, so I hope that showed you how to make the nice chain stitches across. Okay, so I'm going to keep going until I've got every square joined, and the next stage after that would be to put a nice border on. So once you've got all your squares joined, come back and we'll start the border. Okay, good luck with that. Okay, I have got all my lovely squares joined together now, so it's going to be putting on a lovely border next. And I'm going to show you the border we're going to do. It's on this blue blanket. Now, I hope you can see, but this is called Camel Stitch, and it creates lovely chains on the rows going along, and I feel that these chains match the nice chains we use to join our squares together, and it gives it a lovely finish. It's nice and neat. I really like it. On the other side, it creates a nice cross effect at the join, which I think is attractive as well. So I'm going to show you how to make camel stitch. Okay, so I have my squares all ready. I'm going to make a slip knot. And pop my hook through any corner, right through the space at the corner, clip my slip knot, pull it through, and we'll get that tail out of the way, and you can do a slip stitch into your slip knot, and that secures it. Now this first row is all single crochet stitch, so here's how you do that. You put your hook straight through the space and catch a yarn and pull it through, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Collect the yarn, pull it through both loops. The next stitch is going to go into the top of the double crochet stitch from the row before. going to go in this one, and I'm catching 2 loops, collect my yarn, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both loops, onto the next 2 loops there in the chain space with a hook, pull through, yarn round, pull through 2, and next one, 2 on the hook, yarn round, pull through 2. So you're going to go in the chain space of every double crochet from the previous row and do a single crochet, and it's as simple as that, this first row, nice and easy. So I'm going to go along and show you how to join the 2 squares together. I'm going to catch this as far in the corner as you can get and do your single crochet, and then as tight in the corner as you can get on this side, and another single crochet, and that pulls the 2 together in a nice line, nice straight line there. So, and we'll just carry on along this row. Bear with me, I've missed a loop, so I need 2 loops. That's better. So I'm going to work along to this another one and show you this again. If you want to fast forward, that's great. If not, just follow along with me. Okay, so we're going to catch the very corner. I don't like that because I've only got 1 loop, so I'm going to try again. It's better if you can catch 2 loops. That's better. And I'm going to catch 2 loops on this side. You see that? And that's us across the next join as well. Looking for 2 loops. And I'm going to continue on to the next corner, and I'll show you how to do the corner when I come to it. So go ahead and fast forward if you want. Now I'm coming close to the next corner, so I'll show you how to get round the corner with your single crochet. So I've done a single crochet in the top of the last double crochet from the previous row, so you're going to do a single crochet right into the space of the corner. I beg your pardon, just going to take that out. A single crochet into the space, and then you're going to chain 2, and that's what creates your corner. So I'm going to turn my work round. So I've got our chain 2, and then I'm going to single crochet in the same corner space. and that's created the next corner for the next row. And then I'll continue along here just as before, single crochet in the tops of all the previous double crochets and work all the way along to the next corner. Okay, see you when you get there. So we're coming up to the next corner, so I'll show you one more time. So we've reached the corner, so it's a single crochet straight into the space of the corner, and then it's 2 single crochets, so I beg your pardon, 2 chains to create the corner, and then another single crochet in the same corner space, and that's you turned the corner again, and continue the single crochets all the way along this side. I just wanted to show you again how neat the edge becomes when you join these bits together, so I just wanted to show you it again. I've come to the end of my double crochets, so you're going to go right in that corner space and do a single crochet there, and right in the other corner space and another single crochet, and keep the tension quite tight when you pull that one through there, and that's just pulls it all in nice and neat and nice and straight, and then carry on across the edge of your next square. Okay, see how neat that is? Pulls it all nice and straight. I'll see you at the next corner. So I'm back to the beginning again. I'll show you how to finish off this corner and get ready for the next row. So I'm doing my last single crochet in here, one more single crochet in the corner space, then 2 chains, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet you did in the last row. So I've pulled my yarn through, and then it just comes straight through again, and that's that row completely finished. I'll just show you. It's made a lovely neat line, a lovely neat edge. This is the foundation for row 2. I'm really pleased with that. Hopefully you are too with yours. So we're going to start row 2. And row 2 is all about half double crochets. So we're going to start with a chain 2, and then you're going to do a half double crochet stitch in the chain 2 space that you've just made. So you put your yarn around your hook once, trying to get that tail out of the way so you can see. So yarn over into the chain 2 space, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3 at the same time. Okay, the yarn over into this one, pull through. You've got 3 loops on a hook, pull through all 3 at once. So you're then going to go into the space underneath your loops each time, and it's half double crochet in every space all the way along the edge to the next corner. So I'm going to continue on this edge and I'll meet you when I'm coming up to the next corner. Hopefully yours is looking like this now. It's a very pretty edge, I really like it. I'm coming up to the corner, so I'm going to show you how to do a corner. And just do my last half double crochets. So that's my last one done there. So I'm going to do a half double crochet into the chain 2 space from the single crochet row. And then I'm going to chain 2 to create a new corner. And then I'm going to do another half double crochet in the same space. Okay, so that's your corner made, ready to turn round to the next edge. Really coming on now. I love doing the borders on these, makes such a difference. So I'm going to work away along to the edge and I'll show you the corner again one more time. I'm nearly at my next corner, finished my last half double crochet there, so I'm going to half double crochet in the 2 chain space. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to turn my work round. I'm going to do another half double crochet in the same space and then half double crochet all the way along this edge. And that's me turned another corner. Okay, and you end up with nice holes all in a nice row on your corners, which I like. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this row. I've nearly reached the end of this row and the beginning of the last row, so I'm going to show you how to join it neatly. So I'll still do my half double crochet. I'm going to do half double crochet in the corner space and then chain 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that half double crochet from the start of the row. Pull that through there, and then I'm going to chain 2, because this will be the start of your next row. Okay, I hope yours looks lovely and neat and you're feeling pleased with yourself just now. You should be. You're doing a great job, I know. I can tell from this side of the camera. So we're going to start the next row. So I've got my work turned ready to go along here. I've got my chain 2 ready from the corner, and we're still doing half double crochets. However, it's slightly trickier because you're going to be doing your half double crochet in the loop behind. So you've got the 2 loops from the top of your stitch from the previous row. You're turning them forward and you're going in the loop behind. Can you see that? And you're going to pull through one, and then you're going to complete your half double crochet, and then you're going to do that again in the next loop behind and do your half double crochet. And what it's doing, it's turning these double loops forward, which will create the chain on your border. So you're going in the not 1, not 2, the 3rd loop right behind, and doing your half double crochet again. You see that? You've got 1, 2, and it's almost like a bump at the back. Half double crochet, it'll feel really strange at first, but once you've done a few, you will quickly get the hang of it. I'll lay that flat for you to see. So can you see we're starting to create a chain here and a chain here. So I'd like you to go ahead and go along one edge, and I'll join you near the corner, and I'll show you how to do the corner when you get there. Okay? Nearly at the end of this row, I'm going to show you one more corner. So I've got the last bump to catch at the back, half double crochet, then you're going to half double crochet into the corner chain space, and then you're going to do 2 chains, then you're going to half double crochet in the same corner chain space, and that's your new corner created. So I've turned my work round. It gets a bit tricky when you've got lots of squares, but we're doing well. So you've got half double crochet, 2 chains, half double crochet, and then it's half double crochet into the first bump behind. And that's us on the way again. Head along this row. Okay, makes a lovely neat corner. Okay, I'm going to see you at the end of this row. See you in a wee while. So here we are at the end of this row. Going to double check. I've come to the last half double crochet here, so I'm going to do another half double crochet in the corner chain space, and then I'm going to do 2 chains, then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this half double crochet here. Okay, now I'm stopping at this stage because I feel this border is wide enough for this style of blanket for a newborn baby. You can go ahead and add as many rows to your border as you like. If your blanket's massive, you might want a thicker border, but it's entirely up to you. I'm stopping here, so I'm going to snip my yarn, and I'm going to just slip stitch it through here, pull it tight there. And there I have my beautiful girl's newborn baby blanket. I'm going to sew it in my ends, and that'll be it finished. I hope you've got as much satisfaction out of making yours as I have out of making mine. I've got my 2 colours, done my boys and my girls. Newborn twins, they're not even born yet. It's going to be lovely when they arrive. So all the best for yours. Thank you for joining in my tutorial. Bye bye now. Well, we're all finished now. So I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial. I think I said the word lovely at least 50 times. I'll change that for my next tutorial and think of some different adjectives. Good luck making blankets in the future, and hopefully you'll join me again for another tutorial. Bye now. Cheers.